Welcome to the objective review of the Netflix movie Mowgli. And in objective review, I like to break the movie down into 6 categories and assign weights to them depending on the genre so I can have the most unbiased, honest, objective review as possible. So let's get started with the question of the day. What is your favorite Netflix movie? Mine would have to be To All the Boys I've Loved. Great movie, just check it out. Anyway, let's start with the first category of story.
Akira, why am I different?
You are special.
And in the story, it follows the same hotel we've watched before. We have our main character, Mowgli, who is a boy raised by wolves in the jungle, and he deals with that dichotomy of being a human, but also being a wolf, and not knowing exactly where he fits in. I thought this movie did a really good job with how he deals with that. I mean, he really feels like an outcast, unsure of himself. One of the things I really loved about this movie that made it different from a lot of the previous Jungle Book movies is I feel like Shere Khan and Mowgli really has more of a vendetta against each other. I really feel like the movie's building up to a confrontation between the two. Other thing I really loved about the movie is that they really explore Mowgli being with men's village, being with actual men, and how he fits in with them and the interaction, and how he just kind of grows and learns that side of himself. I thought it really added a lot to the story. Also, this movie has a lot of a Lion King-esque feel to it. I mean, it's kind of like a little cub, and then he leaves and explores and try and grow as a character, and he comes back to take back Pride Rock, and he kind of grows to really find who he really is. So for story, I actually really liked it. It was an 8 out of 10. Next is on to emotion.
You will always be my son, Mowgli. Nothing can ever change that.
And I wasn't feeling all that much emotion in this movie. There is one scene in this movie where I had a literal jaw-dropping moment of like just 10 seconds, and you feel Mowgli's emotion, you feel what he's feeling in this moment. I mean, it really puts the whole movie into perspective, really wraps the whole story in perspective about what this movie is about. So that one singular moment, I think, did a great job of just informing the character and informing the story. But it was really just that one moment. So for emotion, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. That is on comedy. There's not that much comedy in this movie. There's really just a couple instances here. There's an albino wolf that I think is pretty funny. But so for comedy, 6.5 out of 10. That is on action. And this movie had a couple different action scenes that I think were well done. I mean, there was kind of a hunting scene to show how Mowgli really compares to the other wolves, or the actual wolves. And then there's a kind of battle for Pride Rock, if you will. And there's a couple other just action scenes here and there. I think they're done fairly well. It's not too action-packed. So give that a 7 out of 10. Next is on to acting.
How you've grown.
The acting in this movie, our main actor who plays Mowgli, he does a really good job. I think he does a better job than the person in the Disney movie, and he did really good also. I mean, I think he really conveys a boy who doesn't really know his place, but I don't think he's given all that much range throughout the movie, except for that one scene I mentioned with the emotion category. And everyone else did a pretty good job in their voice acting. I mean, the voices themselves, I think, did a lot of the acting for them, did a lot of the heavy lifting. Just hearing Christian Bale's voice, he did a great job voice acting. Just hearing Benedict Cumberbatch, he does a good job voice acting all the time. They just have good voices, but I don't think the acting itself really carried it. So for acting, I give that a 7 out of 10. Everyone does a very serviceable job. Next is on to directing.
Wolves are supposed to be with other wolves.
He's not a wolf.
For directing, this is Andy Serkis's, I think it might be his first directing gig, but he does a pretty good job. The motion capture was good, but it wasn't Planet of the Apes good. The movie just looks really nice. Like the cinematography, I think, was done really well. I mean, it's just the colors, I think, really pop. It's just a nice movie to look at. Now on to some bit of criticism. The animals don't really look like animals. Like they look like some human animal hybrid a lot of the times. Like it's just weird. Like they look nice. I mean, I think the panther and Baloo kind of look too shiny in some moments. Like they just don't belong there. Then there was this weird narration choice, and I think they did the narration to make the movie feel bigger than it was, to add the legend to that part of the title, but it just ended up making it feel more like a made-for-TV movie. I didn't think the score was all that impressive, and I thought that was the part that was lacking, that they should have a much bigger score to make it feel bigger rather than that weird narration. So for directing, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. It is a very well-paced movie. It's a great movie to watch on Netflix. It's probably one of their better ones. I mean, it's a great sit-down, like, rent movie. I think everyone should definitely give it a watch. And that brings us to our weighted average total of a 7.5 out of 10. So you should go watch it. Anyway, let me know what you think of the movie, and let me know what your favorite Netflix movie is. Sincerely, thank you for watching, and that's it. I'm out.